afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting Propagandacast with me, your host, Imperial Dane, featuring today a 1 vs 1 on Langres. Yes, indeed, ladies and gentlemen, Langres shall be the scene of the fighting of the day. We shall be watching Olsen Banden, or the Olsen Gang. Actually, Jeep, though. But the Olsen Banden being a Danish series of films about a small gang. Anyways, fighting for the Americans, taking on the fight for the 1st Armoured Division. Opposing him shall be VCRRVRB, aka Les Pepsi. Though fascinating enough, he actually drinks Coca-Cola and not Pepsi. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, a scandal. Scandalous even. Anyways, fighting for the Panther Elite, taking on the fight for the 2nd SS Panzer Division, das Reich. So, should be a good fight, an exciting fight. We are already seeing Jeep focusing pretty heavily on the field. We are seeing a 3 engineers start taking take as much territory initially before Les Pepsi can reach it. Jeep advances forwards for the United States, and we are seeing a rifle squad out first for him. Right there from the barracks, hurrah and huzzah. Panzer gunners moving westwards, following up there, some securing territories there. So far, so good. So far, so good. Nothing to really specifically report on. There, of course, is the kitten cart, small light tractor. Initially meant to use for paratroopers and air landing units to pull their equipment, was later on used for other purposes, including transporting troops. In fact, there was one reconnaissance battalion, I recall it was actually a full Panzer Grenadier battalion that was actually mounted on Kettenkrats, of all the things. So a bit of fun there. And not the sort of stories you usually hear. Panzer is still marching up into the center. The one squad continues up there, possibly to provide protection for the Kettenkrat in case Jeep does decide to go after it with a vengeance. First engagement here between Rifle and Panzer is going up. Although so far both sides are pulling back, both sides are not quite willing to commit to a full fight yet. Pepsi looks like he wants a better position to strike, and looks like he might find it with the engineers securing the central munitions point right there. At the same time, advancing up the left side, going for the victory points both sides. More riflemen squads soon on the way for Jeep. Panzer is here getting charged by an engineer squad from one side, another squad moving in from the other, and from the rear, riflemen moving in. Looks like Jeep is planning on ambushing, and there we go. Ambush succeeded almost. So close, but Pepsi was able to pull out in time. Engineer down to the Panzer Grenadiers over on the right-hand side. Jeep encountering some resistance as of yet, and we do see now a Kampfgruppe company going out for Pepsi and the 2nd SS. Flak Feeling dotting the base. Flak Feeling is one of the many anti-aircraft guns of the lighter kind the Germans used. This one was used later in the war. There was also a single-barrel version, which was actually seen in Saving Private Ryan. And of course there's a 37mm gun as well. Of course all of these saw some sort of mounting on trucks, half-tanks, or in some cases Panzers. Of course, also was the Flak 88, but that rarely saw some sort of motorization. There were a few cases, including one very early on known as the Bunker Flak, which was basically meant for blowing up bunkers, actually. But that was about it, really. Not that much usage over the other. Rifle moving up here again, engaging the Panzer Grenadiers. Right, engineers forced away on the right hand side as Panzer goes moving up there. Rifleman following up and using the building right there just to look out, imagine for any Pepsi's troops that might move up against him. In fact, try to stop him from taking the high munitions point. So nicely down there. Nice huge usage of buildings for increased line of sight, which again is a nice little thing that some players can do. And there we go, we're seeing a full assault going in from Pepsi. 4 squads of Panzer Grenadiers, 2 of them equipped with the mighty Gewehr 43, pushing in against Jeep's riflemen. We are seeing more on the way, but will it be enough? We're seeing flamethrowers pulling up, but they will need to get close, and they could risk getting gunned down unless, of course, Jeep decides to make one hell of a frontal assault and basically just charge right into it. But we also see now an infantry half-tank moving up, the leichte Schützenpanzerwagen, or leichte Grenadierpanzerwagen, depending on how you prefer to call it, actually. Riflemen and engineers pushing forward. Flamethrowers, a full assault going in there. And we are seeing him flanking up. We are seeing suppressive fire from the Gale 43 stopping one part of that assault. But already numerous Panzer Grenadiers are lighting up like torches. Human torches burning with human fat. Engineer squad went down by the looks of it. Riflemen though continue to fight. Panzers continue to die and push back, but the half-track continue to fire away, getting 5 kills already. This half-track is definitely doing a lot of good for the fatherland. Another squad of Panzers pushed away, almost down. Looks like though Jeep might be winning this, but at the same time though he is taking monstrous casualties from all of this. We do see the infantry half-track functioning a bit now as rear guard, allowing the other Panzers to pull back as he continues to unleash a stream of MG42 bullets down upon the Americans. And there we go, fully retreated.
We hold the initiative. At this rate, we'll be taking Berlin.
So quite a nasty engagement right here within the first 5 or 6 minutes of the game. Really brutal, lots of losses. And did not really determine much, did not really do much except allow Jeep now to push on a bit again. Although he's certainly not going to have so easily. And now 7 kills on the infantry half-track again. One should be careful about underestimating the infantry half-track. Well used, it can actually do a lot of damage to an opponent, as it is reasonably accurate and of course still fires quite a few bullets. Another unit went down at Kettenkraut, was lost. Jeep scored the kill, burnt the Kettenkraut. Brutal stuff. Sticky bombs now prepared, so that infantry half is actually going to be in trouble. And of course Pepsi now has to consider being careful, otherwise again he's going to very quickly lose it, even with defensive veterancy 1. The light infantry half-track, or leichte Schützenpanzerwagen, was actually later on basically replaced with a medium one for the reconnaissance battalions, because the Germans figured, well, basically they do the same thing anyways, and then they actually shifted production over towards armoured cars, since they were a bit better off-road than the other armoured car which the Panzer fleet has, which only has 4 wheels, and it was rather decided actually worked pretty rubbish once it came off the roads. Which is a bit impractical when you're there for reconnaissance. They can only follow the roads. In particular when you're in Russia, where the roads aren't exactly the best condition in the first place. But Pepsi pushes onwards. Jeep is certainly a bit on the back foot at the moment, although it's also done some damage. Going straight for the cutoff point there. Infantry half-track Panzer Grenadiers providing coverage. Lovely that. Moving up on the left side as well. Moving up from the rear. More Kettenkraut. In fact, looks like Jeep's getting several. And looks like we might be seeing an attempt at an armoured car rush from Jeep. That could definitely work out. That could definitely work out. As currently there is nothing to stop any sort of vehicles from Pepsi. But there we go. Assault going in. Moving in. Sticking to cover. That's good. Stick close to cover. Although right here exposing himself a bit. And there we go. Full assault. One squad getting pushed down. We're seeing the Jeep half-track, pushing straight into Jeep's troops, trying to suppress, trying to kill. Engineer squad down, but we are seeing the sticky bombs going off the half-track. And it is immobilized. It is immobilized. The half-track can now only provide fire support, and he could easily go down. The riflemen are going to move up there, going to hit the flank, could try and get off another sticky bomb, although now we do see that Jeep, Pepsi, is desperately trying to focus it down, but no. Sticky bomb went off. Half-track went down. Riflemen got out of there. Not good right there for Pepsi, although at the same time the costs in human lives for Jeep have been high. A lot of men have been lost, although it's not been a walk in the park for Pepsi either. So some very brutal fighting going on here within the first 10 minutes of the game. Lots of losses, lots of bleeding, lots of kills. And so far, none of the squads that Jeep has actually gained any veterancy.
We have territory cut off from supply.
So that's been fortunate. Kettenkraut immediately coming out to fire. Might have used it a bit for reconnaissance to spot out what Jeep might possibly have going on when he was going to attack, how much time that he might have before the next wave of American attackers came. And we do see a Panzer support command, and then he's immediately building a Panzer Jäger command. That is peculiar to say the least. That's an awful lot of resource being spent in a short period of time on basically building structures and not getting more units, in particular after having suffered the losses he has. A lot of men and forces having to be replenished, plus the infantry half-track, so that's a bit peculiar, not what I would expect under the current circumstances, but clearly Pepsi seems to be up to something. He's also gone for the Luftwaffe doctrine, and there we go, Panzer Air Command, and we do see the armored car, the Sonderkraftfahrzeug 222, I believe? Was 22. The one with the auto cannon and the 4 wheels, again replaced by an half-track based on, well, an armored car based on the half-track there for better off-road performance. Rather, the Germans experimented much in reconnaissance vehicles. They also converted several lighter tanks into reconnaissance tanks, also pretty much based with the exact same gun right there. One of them was the Lux. There was also a variant based on the Panzer 38T. About 50 of those were made, I believe. But Jeep going ahead, pretty strong, securing a lot of territory. Squad setting out there, a bit silly. And we do see a Luftwaffe ground force squad out there for Pepsi to support his troops. And an rifleman went down. Again, going for the point. Again, very aggressive play by Pepsi. Very harassing. And there we go, the armored car is out. And at the same time, Kettenkraut staying about cloaked, doing reconnaissance, spotting out the enemy, engagement going up here as well. A lot of things going on at the same time, a lot of flashpoints, a lot of aggression. Ravnier running into a lot of problems as the Panther is supported now by Luftwaffe troops push on. And the Luftwaffe squad actually secures a kill. Basically, in terms of combat strength, you can figure the Luftwaffe squad about the strength of Volksgrenadiers. That is, of course, also, they should not be fighting on their own. They should be fighting in conjunction with other units. That way, they can usually do some damage, and particularly also because, again, they do apply to, I believe, that bit of Panzer Elite where they share experience. So again, keeping them close to other troops will also ensure they level up faster, then you can get more offensive veterancy. Of course, that's what I'd recommend. And then you can actually have them do a bit more killing stuff. Plus, they have the slight advantage that your opponent will generally always try to focus down the Panzer Grenadiers first, meaning the Luftwaffe troops can stay in the fight a bit longer. So again, having them with offensive veterancy and thus being able to fire more shots more accurately can prove advantageous. Rifle squad here getting pushed off. Panzer Grenadiers moving up, and there you go, the armored car firing away. Doing a bit of damage with its Autokanone, or the Kampfwagenkanone 20 actually, as it was also known. Could also be used to shoot down aircraft a bit, although not the most effective at that, and would usually only have been more lower flying aircraft. And there we go, full push on from Jeep. He's not going to be pushing straight at Pepsi's main force the way it's currently arrayed, so instead he's going to hit the flank. He's going to probably try and draw up Pepsi from there before moving in there instead, which is usually also a good strategy. In the meantime, Luftwaffe troops securing the point there, and we are seeing a Hellcat now coming out for Jeep. Also note, Jeep actually has most of the victory points, Pepsi less so, but the Hellcat is out. Tank destroyer, one of many employed by the Americans throughout the war, although this is one of the later variants. One of the earliest, in fact, included a Jeep with an anti-tank on its rear. Later on, the primary one was actually in half-track with a 50mm gun, I believe, until they later came around to finally getting stuff like the Wolverine and later on the Hellcat. And there we go, engagement going on. Armored car coming under fire from the Hellcat. Nice hit from the 76mm gun, doing quite a bit of damage to the armored car and sending it scurrying away. At the same time, finding over here, rather than getting caught out in the open. Interesting enough, there's been no BAR attempt by Jeep to increase the firepower on his rifleman against the Panzer Grenadiers. It could pay off in particular, since it could then use suppressive fire to suppress the Panzer Grenadiers as they advance. Flamethrowers and riflemen up here. They will need support though, as the Panzer Grenadiers might be able to get off a good position, but no, they do retreat. And also note, Jeep has actually upgraded his Hellcat with a 50 caliber machine gun. That is pretty rare that you see a player doing that. Not to say that it's a completely rubbish idea, but it might not always be the most effective one, though it can help a bit in self-defense, as the 50 caliber is in the game an alright potent weapon against the Hun. Light anti-tank half-track pulling out for Pepsi. Armored cars getting repaired. Troops reinforcing. More on the way. And Kettenkraut sneaking in, taking a point, and then cloaking and getting the hell out of there. But fighting flashing on again at all points. Something always happening. Not one dull moment, not one passive moment. Which is good play. And there we go, the armored car patrol rolling out again. Followed up by the anti-tank half-track. Driving here, holding up, but there we go. Hellcat moving up, flanking. 76mm gun and 50 caliber machine gun firing away. And Panzer Grenadiers retreating. Rifle moving up, trying to go for a sticky bomb on the anti-tank half-track. That could definitely be an opportunity for Jeep to knock it out, but no. The sudden appearance of several Panzer Grenadiers exposed the flank of the riflemen, pulling them back into more safe territory where they're less likely to get murdered senselessly. But how long can the Panzers continue to hold out there as they are under heavy fire? The Hellcat blasting away, their cover could crumble, and they themselves actually end up crumbling under the heavy fire. We do see Pepsi pulling back in that case. Armor cars continue to fight over there. Looks like a rifleman squad up to something, but will likely get hunted down and could even get murdered in a fashion a bit brutal.
Our munition stores are under attack.
No, looks like they escape.
Available to aid our worthy cause.
Jaeger command upgrade for Pepsi. He could be trying for the Panther battle group. Always a favorite amongst Panzer League player. Luftwaffe soldier. Flattened by an explosive round from the Hellcat. 50 caliber firing away. And actually doing a bit of damage right there. Going for the cutoff points now. Keep regaining some territory, regaining some stability of the map. As Pepsi struggles to counterattack with his SS Panzer Grenadiere. Troops reinforcing.
Elite Fallschirmjäger infantry is now
Tank busters up for
use against the enemy.
Pepsi, and we also see Fallschirmjägers now being prepared. Should be interesting. And 2 Hellcats up, and both upgraded with 50 calibers. Again, quite interesting move from Jeep. It is not very common that I see an American player actually upgrade his Hellcat with 50 caliber, and certainly not and one as high ranked as Jeep, so it's quite interesting to see. It is, again, anomalous. Not what you usually see. But again, not complete rubbish, but not necessarily always the most effective, and unless, oh well. And we're seeing an observation post step to try and help him more fuel so he can push out more armor. Engineers and riflemen making a straight charge at the Panzer Grenadiers, but they're going to get cut down. There we go, one squad suppressed already. Riflemen pushing up against the offensive veterans, one Panzer Grenadiers. It looks like they were forced about the house there as well by the bombardment from the Hellcats, flanking about surrounding them. Flamethrowers moving up, Panzer Grenadiers getting scorched. We could see losses for Pepsi. At the same time, the squad is very close to going down for Jeep. And there we go. Victory was assured, and we also see the engineers are quick to move back and repair the observation post. Put on all the tiny bits on it so it looks a bit more impressive in case the commanding officer stops by and demands to know why it looks like the Krauts came by. Armored car firing away, and there you go again. Tank buster squad up in the house. Hellcats once more moving in for a bombardment run, and gets a tank buster right there. 2 remaining, heroically, defiantly for the fatherland.
Welcome to the Luftwaffe, brother. Men are barely needed. Don't fuck up. Kampfgruppe Leer is losing ammunition.
And butterfly bombs being locked down by Pepsi in an attempt to slow down the American advances. Could be here. Here, no, it's going on right about here by the cutoff point, which is certainly also a vital point to protect. And we are seeing a Panther battle group soon being ready to be called in by the 2nd SS. So the 2nd SS Panzer Regiment can move in and support.
Forward supply lines are broken.
And we are seeing Hellcats rolling up in anticipation of combat soon to come. And there we go, butterfly bombs going off, killing numerous riflemen.
We are down to 200 points. The enemy is seizing our territory.
There you go, and the armoured cars revealing themselves. The anti-tank half-tank continues to blast away, still alive, surprisingly enough. And interesting enough, also, Jeep is actually not moving in from it. I mean, it's only one, but he must be expecting and worrying about there's perhaps something else supporting it, something more nasty, waiting in the darkness, ready to strike out about one of his Hellcats as soon as it's immobilized. But interesting enough, there's not, so it's a bit of a mind game going on here again. That sort of game of, well, what does he have? What do I have? Can I be sure he only has that? Or could he possibly have that hiding and ready to do terrible things to me and my dreams? But let us go look back at Jeep. Hellcats rolling in once more, opening up with their guns. Engineers here taking terrible losses to the Panzer Grenadiers. One squad pushed away, taking some nasty losses, including to the 50 calibers, and a full retreat going on there. Minor fighting going on there, and the tank busters once more pop into the house. They're really going in, and they've got armor cars quickly putting up support, and grenades out from Jeep, killing 2 of them immediately. And there go one Panzer squad. Could go down the retreat, it could be, and the Panzer strike could be lost, but no, of the armored cars absolutely tear the riflemen to shreds, gutting them like pigs. That is, if you gutted them using an auto cannon, which you usually don't, at least not from what I know. Sticky bomb there going off and damaging the engine of the armored car, and there we go, the tank, anti-tank half-tank finally went down. A few well-placed shots from the Hellcats sorted that out in a fashion that can best be described as painful and short. So a bit of quiet. Question is, what shall Jeep be doing next? Shall he be upgrading his rifle with the BARs? Will he be getting a medic station? Germans? More tank destroyers? But no, it's also interesting. He's got armor and he's going for the left-hand side. He's going for the Pershing. Again, interesting. Jeep clearly not afraid of playing outside the box, or at least not the usual sort of path that most American players would go. So interesting. Fascinating. And a bit of quiet here. Both players seem to be sizing up the situation, although it looks like Jeep is making ready for an assault on the left side. Engineers following up in support of the Hellcats. And we are now seeing an anti-tank gun up. Interestingly enough. Jeep apparently feeling he needs something else rather than just Hellcats. And there we go. Panthers have arrived. The Panzerkampfwagen 5. Ready to take on Civil Amerikaner. They're paper panzers.
Munitions point under attack.
We have finished construction.
Panzer gunners and riflemen seeing each other off right there. Panthers rolling up. No, looks like they're splitting up. I would have thought he might have sent both on a slightly more roundabout way up the right-hand side, but there we go. Anti-tank gun could in fact intercept at least one of them. The other one stays behind. Interesting. At the same time, though, the larger efforts of Jeep are actually on the left side, and we could actually see him rolling in the... Oh, really nasty. He could be ambushing the armored cars right there, and they go. The Hellcats pull forward. Both miss, and there we go. Overcharge on the engines. Pepsi, I mean, desperately trying to get his armor cars out of them. There we go. It went down like a Roman candle on New Year's Eve, held by a drunk person. And Panthers there fighting away, coming under fire from the anti-tank gun, but at the same time the armored cars that Pepsi had are definitely running into the problem. In fact, it's pulling up all behind the Panthers, just in case. Already one Panther, by the way, has taken severe damage, and we could in fact see Jeep pushing on towards the German base, possibly knocking out a flak filling right there, denuding some of the base defenses around Pepsi's base. Down here, though, takes some heavy damage from the armor car. Note, offensive veterancy so far is a bit faster and is a bit more accurate, thus increasing its overall killing power. And, you know, some players do prefer defensive because it makes them faster, it, you know, makes them tougher, and, you know, there's, of course, also good for that, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't go offensive, because, again, sometimes, you know, you just want to kill the other bastards faster. I mean, that's basically the two approaches there. Otherwise, on one side, you can survive more shots, or you can fire off more shots and be more likely they actually hit.
The enemy is after our victory point.
And there we go. Panther went down to the grenade. Looks like something else died as well. Left-hand side looks to be falling very much to Jeep at the moment. He's got quite the force By the way, another anti-tank gun rolling up. Panther's a bit held back, and these 5 definitely need to get out of there, down to 3 men. And veterans 2,
Enemy is
by
down
the
to
way.
100 points.
Those Panthers are making dog meat out of us!
And the points continue to tick down. Things are not looking very well
We have
for
a
this
secure
Pepsi.
sector under attack.
No supplied upgrades though for Jeep. He could consider that. He probably should consider that, in fact, since it will definitely help him in the longer run. Mount engagement going over 2 Panzer Grenadier squads, and no BAR to support him still. No Browning automatics. 1 anti-tank sneaking up, no support for it, which could definitely be a problem. And the observation post finally went down. And Panzer Grenadiers run off from the center. Looks like Jeep might be trying to drive a wedge through Pepsi's forces. That would definitely be a clever move. Could split them up, could allow him to deal with them one at a time, which could definitely pay off. But the question is, can he actually pull it off? Oh, Kevin Macleod being very bold, doing a bit of reconnaissance. Panther's getting repaired, and if I think Jeep was to attack now, he could probably knock it out, actually. And 40 Jaegers pull out. They're going to hit the flank. Of course, use the Kevin Macleod to spot out the situation. And there we go, flamethrower engineers are counter-attacking. And we are seeing a Henschel strafing run. The Luftwaffe has been called in to support. And there we go, one Hell... No, the Panther went down. Panther went down. Hellcat can't seem to hit much, although there we go. Hellcat out of control, and that was the veteran one. Other Panther taking nasty damage as well. Field repairs is up. Anti-tank guns firing away. 40 Jaegers still continue to cause havoc. And Henschel. Yeah, I was about to say Helting, but that's not an aircraft. Looks like it actually killed one of the anti-tank gunners. Impressive. And looks like that both Hellcats will be lost at the cost of 1 Panther. Definitely a bit of a nasty surprise there that Pepsi sprung on Jeep, and it's actually rather rare that you see a player focusing on getting Henschel saving runs that early, but clearly Pepsi decided on it and it worked out for him. It definitely helped him to stop the assault from Jeep in its tracks quite nicely. And now we are seeing Jeep being sent back with heavy casualties, down to 3 infantry squads, and they are all quite depleted. 2 Hellcats gone. Nasty stuff, nasty stuff. And now it's Pepsi time to charge forwards. 2 veterans, 3 Panzer Grenadier squads tearing through the rifle, and then we've got another squad went down. Absolutely devastating, mean, vicious, brutal, if not brutish. Mines going off over here. Looks like they do kill a few Panzer Grenadiers, or at least give them a slight headache. Oh, they could be running into another one. And Heinz creeps forward, and there we go. The mine went off and killing 2 of them, leaving behind only 1 squad, giving Jeep more time over there. Looks like Jeep is definitely preparing for the Pershing. I mean, he's not going to be reinforcing any of his troops. He's definitely going to give Pepsi all the time. He needs to take most of the map back, if not most of the map into Reich territory. But a bit of quiet. Panther getting repaired. Panther being a bit mechanically unreliable, always was. Although earlier in the war, in the beginning of its period, it certainly was a lot of problems. It had them, I mean, including, for example, if it tipped at a certain angle, because apparently it used an aircraft engine, it would actually burst into flames, the engine, that is. A bit unfortunate. Plus, it generally required a lot of maintenance just to keep sort of in, well, working shape. And certainly you can see a lot of Panthers basically being lost due to that, and basically also being blown up, because in some cases the Soviets attacked, or the Allies attacked, and they had no other chance but to blow them up. So that could be a bit unfortunate for the Germans. Another Fortune Jaeger squad was that the first one still alive. Pershing moves forward, stops right at the butterfly bomb field. Quite lucky there. And we do see a Panther a bit boldly going forwards right after the Pershing. Comes under fire from the anti-tank gun. Pershing turns about, going to fire its 90mm gun, and the shot bounces off. That's a bit unfortunate. And a small infantry assault going on there.
Losing ground out there.
Well, 3 squads is a bit more than small. Considerable. And looks like Pepsi has stabilized the victory points at 60. And we do see a Bergetiger rolling out for Pepsi to begin recovering his lost vehicle pool. In this case, the Panther first. Panther gun is here coming under fire from the Pershing. And usually, I mean, again, they do not have a Bergetiger. The usual more regular and largest recovery chain they actually had was the Berge Panther. Rather held up in the barn, but slightly pulling back here by the looks of it. Jeep looking a bit held back. Jeep quickly sending things into chaos on the left side. All a bit quiet. And looks like someone got the extra big red flare. Oh dear! Schwarzenegger spotted by the Pershing, and they're pushed back, Rifle advancing straight into the butterfly field, but going for the victory point, going to continue the drain on Pepsi's forces. Anti-tank guns could perhaps stand to pull a bit further up, but there we go. Oh, anti-tank gun just barely misses the Luftwaffe and the armored car. But another shot could pull it off, but no, it's actually moving forward, so never mind. A bit of quiet again between the two forces. Another attempt, this time though initiated by a Fallschirmjäger squad. A second one out for Pepsi. But back to Pepsi and over to the mid-game analysis. Concentration not exactly looking all that good for Jeep. He's been pushed back. He's taking some nasty casualties, but he's got a Pershing, he's got some anti-tank guns, and he's got a challenge by Joe to still do some damage to Pepsi, but he has to be clever about it. He needs to sneak up. And he probably needs to first sort out those Panthers afterwards. There's not going to be much that can actually stop his Pershing, so he's likely going to try something with the anti-tank guns and the Pershing to sort out the Panthers, then push through the rest of the German forces. On the other side, there's also the Henschels, and of course he could consider actually going for a half-track and mounting the quad mount anti-aircraft guns on it to try and help with it. It's not something I very often see, but in this case it could perhaps pay off. Plus, of course, afterwards it can be turned against the Kraut infantry, going from anti-aircraft gun to Kraut mower. So, of course, that's always a possibility. From the other hand, Pepsi needs those victory points. Of course, that's also another option, simply for Jeep basically trying to hold on for dear life to that victory point. But the other option again for Pepsi, he needs to get those victory points, he needs to push forward, he needs to do some damage, but he needs to be careful because there's anti-tank guns, there's a Pershing, so his Panthers can't just rush in and, you know, enjoy a beer afterwards. His best chances are likely going to be a flank attack on Jeep's positions, hitting them here or here, rushing through and then, well, sorting things out, but there's no guarantee it will actually work, tragically enough. So, of course, question becomes, how will he do it? But back to the fighting. Back to the war. Well, the war that's technically already over. Oh dear, Pershing gets 2 Panzers outright. Armored car went down to an anti-tank gun. Nice movement there on the flank. And we are seeing Pepsi making a direct assault with the Panther exposing the rear already. I wonder, does Jeep have anti-armor piercing rounds already up on the anti-tank guns, because that could definitely prove to be very, very lethal. And we are seeing the Henschels getting called in again. The Luftwaffe rushes to the rescue of the Panthers, forcing away the Pershing. And even if it does not kill it, it will deny the area and the confrontation of the Pershing and definitely give Pepsi a better chance to use his Panthers against the rest of the forces and allow him actually to get out of there. But there's still the anti-tank on the flank. There's still that one. If we're going to get some troops into the building, he can actually get some increased line of sight and knock it up. And no, Jeep does not have the courage or stomach or whatever that's apparently might have given him the chance of knocking it out. Sadly, otherwise he could have done it. He could have knocked out one Panther. But definitely very close right there. And again, good use of the Henschel in keeping Jeep and the 1st Armoured at bay. Though again, I would perhaps consider, if I was the American player at this stage, to get a half-tech and upgrade it with the anti-aircraft gun. And certainly the Americans did not quite as much need their anti-aircraft guns as the Germans did, but nonetheless, it still had their usage occasionally. Faulty Mega squad. Oh, went down to the Pershing. Veterans one already up for that one. And the Riflemen quickly get pushed off by Panther, and it's counter-attacking fighting going on heavily for that victory point. That one deciding, at least for the moment. Anti-tank guns once more rolling forwards. Panther exposed for the flank again. Pepsi's movement not so good. The Panther was always told, or at least the crews were told, to always keep the front towards the enemy, as the rear and side for that matter were quite weak. In fact, only 50mm of armor on the side, and that was on the later versions. The earlier ones, I believe, actually only had 40mm of armor, so they could very quickly go down. Once flanked, in fact. Panthers rolling forward again. Already this one is in a poor condition. Pershing, though, not looking too well either, so don't think Jeep will be risking it quite yet, though he will, of course, be taking some good shots there. The Panzer gun is hoping to knock out a few. So far, looks like they've saved our situation for now. Armored car recovered by the mighty Bergediger. Anti-tank guns creeping forwards like thieves in the night, armed with anti-tank guns. And Panther is moving forward straight into the line of fire of the Pershing, but a Panther quick moves up. Oh dear, main gun destroyed, and good night. Panther, anti-tank gun scored the kill and immediately gained veterancy during the process. And there we go, a few Panthers could look up and ending on the wrong side of some Americans. Armored car moving up, flanking, could get that veterancy Rifleman squad, but no, it's quick to retreat. Armored car though moving up, flanking the anti-tank gun. Oh, getting off some good shots there on the crew. Pershing pulls back. Will it be in time though, or will the crew die? And there we go, nice hit, but the crew dies nonetheless. One stray shot. And the last one dies of, I don't know, lupus. And another Henschel strafing line once more, going to send the Pershing away as 75mm rounds fly in from above. Though in this case, they all seem to fail to hit or penetrate. But it gives Pepsi adequate time to push forward. Once again, keep that area clear of Americans, of the Yankee gangsters. Which they were rather fond of referring to the Americans too, due to all their gangster moves about that period. So, fun fact. And quick to recover that Panther again. My apologies for the technical issues. Slight instability today. Never fun when that happens. And the center once more helped by Pepsi. Deep is definitely on the back foot now. But there certainly went on a lot of armored recovery in Normandy, which in fact in one case resulted in iron crosses for the mechanics due to their sheer work in keeping the German panzers operational. Line of firing here. Panzer Grenadier went down. Assault Grenadiers now preparing for Pepsi, and they're going to tank moving up. We're seeing a Sherman up for Jeep, which is not really going to protect against any aircraft. And there we go, though we do see the 50 caliber. That's going to provide light anti-aircraft protection, but only very light. Panther's taking fire from the Pershing. The Pershing continues to hold out, getting repaired by as many engineers as feasibly possible. And looks like Pepsi might be preparing for the flanking assault, and looks like he's setting up a forward position in the house. Pepsi is digging in. Not one step back, meine Herren. And there we go, the Sherman is quickly reacting to the flank by the Panzers, and she will be more than adequate. In fact, gets a kill on one of them with the 50 caliber machine gun. Pershing gets another kill. That could be a full squad wiped out, and that would definitely be a huge loss for Pepsi if he lost a veteran to 3 Panzer Grenadier squad. Looks like in this case it's... Oh my god! 47 kills! Ooh, Panther hit there as well. Pepsi under pressure. Anti-tank and recover. Now go to the armored car still operating on the far flank. Yeet could try and send in the Sherman to flush it out, or perhaps an tank destroyer. Although again, I would like to see a half tank with an anti-aircraft gun, not just because they're rare and you rarely see them, but because I think in this case it could actually pay off. Oh well. And looks like a Panzer Grenadier squad almost went down again. As Jeep continues to creep forward slowly but surely, and there we go. The Sherman is moving up on the far left flank to probably keep it clear of Kraut armored cars. But then again, Jeep then pushes the other flank with the Panther. Nice work there. Knowing that Jeep's force is slightly less mobile, he's using his mobility, his Panzer gunners and his Panthers to threaten Jeep's flanks and thus actually ensure that Jeep can't advance forward. And then we go direct assault on the anti-tank. Going to clear the veterans. Grenades going off there, but the anti-tank nonetheless went down. Nicely done there. Sherman though continues after the armored car. The armored car is very damaged. The engine's damaged. It's not likely she'll make it out of there, although we do see a Panther rolling in. The Sherman could go down, needs to get out of there. Run, Sherman, run! Well, drive as swiftly as you can at full speed. And there you go, Panther gets off a nice rear hit. Panther is almost down. The Pershing gained veterans to increasing the penetration. And the Henschel gets called in again. That could very much well be the end of the Sherman. So far not, though. There we go, the Pershing moving up. I mean, Panther moving up on the far flank. The Pershing's not on the flank at all. And there we go. Henschel gets the rear engine. Well, not the rear engine, but the rear hit. The engine blows up, and there we go. Panther gets the kill. Anti-tank and gets wrecked as well. The Luftwaffe definitely being put on overtime in this fight. But actually doing some damage and actually causing Jeep quite some problems. And mine, he's also got a Veterancy 3 engineer squad. That's quite dangerous, actually, as I do believe at Veterancy 3 they also gain a damage bonus, meaning that flamethrower is definitely going to be able to cook some krauts. Whoops. Oh, Panzer squad almost down. 16 kills on that Pershing. And Panzer Grenadiers do give a lot more veterancy than Grenadiers or Volksgrenadiers, so that's always something that should be remembered. And another man down. A Hellcat up, anti-tank and firing away, the other one still there. And looks like we do see Pepsi intent on wrecking it. While this Panther's being kept in tip-top shape. Now Veterancy 2 with a machine gunner on top. Pershing advances. And going after the bag of Tiger, forcing it away, leaving the Panther exposed. Nicely done, advancing up on the left flank, but they're taking fine. The Pershing actually taking rear hits from the other Panther. Nice flank going on there, but anti-tank is open up as well. Points are ticking down, but Jeep still has plenty of time, so I imagine he's not worried. Unlike other players, he is clearly not panicking. He's not getting desperate. He's taking this one step at a time. He knows he can take that time, at least for some time longer, before he needs to get desperate and all panicky. Anyways. More engineers to repair. Apparently another squad went down briefly earlier. More flamethrowers. And looks like Jeep is intent on knocking out that part of Pepsi's defense, their forward headquarters. Although the presence of the Panther quickly forces them away. Nice force disposition, although we do see a very vulnerable left flank for Pepsi. Very vulnerable. Although problem is, I don't think Jeep as such can actually divert forces towards it as such. So he's slightly a bit limited there as well himself. Otherwise he could have tried moving up there, knocking out the defenses then heading over. But it looks like he's actually doing it, at least partially. Pershing moves up. gets off a nice hit on the armor car, almost knocks it out. Anti-tank gun follows up. Bit more of a slow dance going on between the two as they try to figure each other out in the rifle squad. He needs to be careful. Hellcat charging straight into everything. Grenade goes off, actually damaging the Hellcat ever so slightly. We could see that Hellcat going down to a stray Panther shot, but no, not today. Even a slight attempt there at advancing is quickly put to an end by the armored car, doing what, which is keeping the flanks clear of lighter infantry harassment, meaning larger and more important combat forces don't need to be diverted towards it. Since the armored car, of course, would pretty much go up in flames in a seconds if it was actually diverted to the main combat zone, which is currently the center of the map, which also tends to be where most of the fighting usually happens. Oh, Panther a bit too. Bull there a bit too exposed, takes a hit from the anti-tank and quickly pulls back behind the barn. How shall Jeep try and break the stalemate which has ensued? Again, both forces are sizing each other's up, figuring out where to strike, where to land the blow. And looks like Jeep is going to go for the victory points, although... Oh, Flak 88 going down here. Yes, there we go. Looks like Jeep has figured out what's going on there. Pepsi is trying to lay down something that could definitely put a stop to his armoured plans of supremacy. And there we go. The Flak is cancelled. At the same time, we do see the Panther there coming under heavy fire from Pershing, anti-tank gun and Hellcat. And the Panther could very well go down soon enough. Armor cars moving up the flank, and there we go. The anti-tank gun gets the Panther. Panther down for Pepsiling him down to 1 again.
Losing ground out there.
Panther gun is a bit exposed to the Pershing. Careful. 20 kills on the Pershing. And looks like the Hellcat will finally put us on. And there we go again. Henschel strafing around. Veterans of free, by the way, now for the Pershing. And again, nice damage there from the Henschel. Armored car risking to go down. And the Flak actually went up. From the SS Flakabteilung 2. Or battery, whatever. As Panzer Divisions usually had their own flak battery, otherwise for most other units they had to rely on one provided by the Luftwaffe for support if they got any. Pershing out running into a bit of a problem, taking some nasty damage. Although of course his veterans are free, and there we go, gets the other armoured car. Panther pulling away, Pershing staying in somewhat safe, and we are seeing a full infantry assault going in from Jeep on the Flak. Will the assault on the Flak succeed, or will it fail in death? And lots of, well, dead people. And looks like death this result. Veterans 2 Rifleman squad went down. In fact, looks like he's down to 2 non-veteran squads. He's got Veterans 3 engineers and that Veterans 3 Pershing. That's all that is left. All that is left of Jeep's once mighty force. Although he does have supplied upgrade number 1, but again, medic station might have helped him a bit. Plus, that anti-aircraft gun might have been able to shoo away some of those Henschel strafing runs, keeping him on the field a bit longer. Panther's getting repaired. Pepsi having them split up to protect several points. Although he hasn't got quite as much infantry left as he used to. In fact, most of the force seems now to be composed of... Oh, never mind. I thought it was mostly Luftwaffe ground forces. And making another assault for the forward barracks, looking to take it out. And deny Pepsi the ability to reinforce and heal at it. quiet. Pepsi launching up an assault in the centre, which is completely bare for anything.
Losing ground out there.
Luftwaffe squad taking some nasty losses as well. Full advance going in from Pepsi. Oh, well, it's a minor one anyways. Armors pulled back for the time being.
Enemy unit down.
And looks like an armoured car quickly went down there. Bursting into flames. Flame veterans who flank this versus veterans who 3 Panzer grenadiers. Already one of the Panther has burst into flames. Pershing, oh, Hellcat actually moves in. The Pershing still remains in the centre. And another rifleman scored. Still no BARs for them at all. And supply at upgrade number 2. That's a bit of an odd choice now. Quiet. Flak there, Panther there, including armoured car and some other bits. All a bit quiet. Not looking too good for Jeep, though clearly Pepsi is still afraid.
Objective secured. Rifle squad defending.
All quiet, so quiet in fact. One would imagine Pepsi would make a move. But again, he seems worried about what Jeep can bring to bear. But there we go. Looks like the assault is going in, pushing up the centre. At the same time, a small force has been sent over to flank to go for victory point there again. Victory points seem to be the only chance for Jeep. If he has any, that is. Panther there moving forwards. Panther goes though quickly counterattacking to the south. Larger force should have been sent. Although we do now see a Hellcat, but it immediately comes under fire from the flank, and of course is still the Panther.
Our forces are taking casualties. Enemy unit down.
Pepsi seems to be losing Panzers there. Some curious reason. And the riflemen on the left side were pushed away. Panzers going up with anti-tank Panzer X, up the centre. Engineers doing what they can, but they do come under intense fire and are pushed away. Pershing versus Panther. Who shall be the victor on the right side? Veterans free for the Pershing, by the way, gives it a 25% damage bonus. And there we go, nice hit on the Panther down to half health, though the Pershing is also down to half health. Troops reinforcing.
Losing ground out there.
We're losing them as fast as we're getting them.
And it's actually time to look back at Pepsi again, who seems to be taking it awfully casually at the moment. Confident that victory is his, and he does not want to risk it lightly. Would be the most likely situation, because again, one mistake from him and Jeep could possibly take back the victory points, and then it might be too late. And the Jeep is pants. The Pershing is only damaged. There's no Jeeps from Jeep, I'm afraid. Those that might have wished so. Panther moving up there. Panther supporting the advance on the left flank. Anti-tank and they're opening up. And Panzer grenadiers moving into the centre, threatening to do a lot of damage. And the anti-tank gun right there running into some problems.
We have eliminated the enemy once more.
Grenadiers ready!
Pershing there to the rescue. And yeah, kills a few Panzer gunners, but ultimately not much. And again, another push, a last push from Jeep. Can he take the victory point, or will the Panzer gunners from Pepsi in the second SS can hold them back? Will they succeed, or will the riflemen succeed in their own endeavour? Looks like, though, Pepsi's once more holding the line. Jeep once more finding his troops thrown back under intense fire. And once more the Pershing getting repaired. I mean, it's this rare, quite a bit rare to see an American player actually do something to keep the Pershing alive and actually reach veterancy 3. So quite impressive, quite impressive. Now, if only he could keep it really going. Problem is, of course, as soon as he gets it somewhere, the Henschels come flying in and try to knock it out. And Pepsi taking another step further, actually wiring off the direct approach towards the victory point. Duel between the Panther and the Pershing. Again, engineers are quick to follow up. And riflemen. Jeep is doing quite a well job in keeping his Pershing support, but again, he lacks that anti-aircraft support. And also, Pepsi's floating and ups a large amount of resources. Calliope finds a way, impacting directly on the Panther a bit and the Bergetiga, but ultimately does not do terrible, crippling damage, which could have allowed a Pershing to rush in and really do some damage. At the same time, Panther is waiting here, biding their time, ready to strike the flank of Les Jeepers. And looks like instead they find themselves some tasty riflemen, a bit on their own, and quickly slows them down. Grenade lot, but simply not enough. Looks like something died. Could have been a Kettenkard. Pershing with 29 kills. Pushed up by the engineers, but they are pushed away. Generally keep having very large trouble actually getting back into the fight. He's constantly locked down. He has suffered too many losses, one would imagine, including many veteran riflemen. Although it looks like the armor car could go down to the anti-tank gun. Will the 57mm gun be able to finish it off? Nope. Not the case here. And 47, 23.
Squad ready for orders.
Another push up by Pepsi. Unwilling to yield. And there we go. I think the Pershing actually took a hit from the flank. No, that might have been another unit. Another Calliope barrage straight up, hitting the rear of the Panther. Actually quite nice, quite nice. Bergetiga also taking a few hits. Could this be the time? No, the Pershing actually pulled back, denying it a chance to get off some good shots there on the Panther and destroying it. At the same time, it looks like the Panther on the left flank is pushing forwards. Pepsi is pushing it. And the anti-tank gun is actually on the move, off guard. It could be destroyed. Panther rushing straight into the base. Calliope is spotted, and we could see a Henschel strafing run called in to deal with all of this. And there we go. Calliope takes a hit in the rear. Sticky bombs on the Panther. The Panther could actually go down to this. And this was no attempt at actually calling in a Henschel strafing run, since there's so much American armor right here which could be targeted. And there we go. The Panther actually goes out of control. Maybe a wasted opportunity by Pepsi right there, I don't know, but he's definitely not going to be able to recover that Panther, so he's short one. Pershing continues to be repaired. Panther going to just continue to fight, continue to die. As so many other troops do on this battlefield.
Location has been secured. Ready to move on to the next objective. The enemy is impacting. Come
A bit quiet, a bit quiet, a bit quiet. Panther getting repaired by the Pershing. I mean, not the Pershing. My God, what's wrong with me today? Just rambling on. I do not like that. And there we go, another Henschel strafing run. And there we go, several hits on the rear of the Pershing. And that could definitely be the hit. Sticky bomb on the Panther. An attempt right there. The main gun has destroyed. The Pershing is gone. And there we go. Henschel strafing run gets it. Knocks out the Pershing. And that is pretty much deep out of the fight. So close yet so far. Unable to deliver the killing blow. And engineer unit also went down. That I think is pretty much it. So let's just speed it up. GG well played. Another Pershing called in, but clearly without much of a chance. And yet keep pointing out he lost too many rifles. I also we'll actually get to that once this is over. But I also think another problem was a bit he lacked anti-aircraft assets. He lacked something to keep the skies clear of the Luftwaffe. And of course, there's no guarantee that the half-track could have done it. Of course, it could also risk getting knocked out itself. But of course, it might actually been able to knock out the Henschel. And I would say that perhaps was a bit better than the other Sherman. Ultimately, we shall never know. Otherwise, a medic station might have helped Jeep a bit here and there, and some mines. He could have benefited from some mines to slow down Pepsi's advance. Otherwise, I mean, this was a very close fight. But ultimately, Pepsi's use of the Henschel strafing run, I actually turned the fight as it was several times. It actually forced Jeep to retreat, giving Pepsi more time to bring more forces onto the field and keep his Panthers prepared. So in this case, the Luftwaffe won the day. I bet you never would have heard that one. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed this match. Hope you learned something from it. If you did, why not subscribe, tell your friends. If you didn't, well, why not send in a replay of your own. This is Imperial Dane saying cheers.